What is going on, everybody? We are live. We have myself, Coach Tyler, as well as Coach C Sizzle and L Fizzle. That's what you ought to do. You ought to do
What?
L Fizzle.
El Fizzle?
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't work out too well. I mean, my last name starts with an S, so.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. But guys, we are live, and this is Coach's Corner. Let me get my big ass hand out the way. And we're talking of this. We have a good topic for you today. But if you're tuning in, whether you're in our private or one-on-one clients only Facebook group, put a hashtag I'm here. Drop some fire. If you're watching this on their profile, on my profile, just say that you're here and let me know your support. We're also running through YouTube as well. And Coach Chris, you can actually, it might be too hard for you, but you can actually share this to your profile as well. So just want to make sure we reach as many people. I can't, so just
I like
a little
that.
FYI. All right. So other than that, guys, we got a good topic. We got Courtney who showed up. She's dropping some fire. Appreciate you.
What up?
Other than that, yep.
Hi guys.
She's here.
She's here. So
Just brushed the Stairmaster.
I did, guys. It was at level 15.
Level 15 Stairmaster, getting it in, getting that work done.
Sorry.
But guys, we got to know you're good. We got a good topic, and we wanted to kind of address how to make proper substitutions. Okay, we're going to talk about it with the nutrition standpoint, and we're also going to talk about it with exercise. All right, how to make proper substitutions. Okay, so when it comes to, and guys, if you have any questions as we're rambling on, drop them in the comments, and we'll get to it after we get done with these topics. So.
That's questions about anything. It doesn't have to be just about this topic. Anything that you want answered, ask it. It's the time to ask.
Maybe guys, y'all seen a crazy article on or you see a crazy TikTok or reel that you want us to kind of touch up on. Like we be down to talk about it. But moving on, I think again we wanted to kind of talk about substitutions because it's important to make substitutions. And when it comes to being on a diet or just trying to eat healthy, and I'm not necessarily going to talk about like what's on our clients' meal plans. I don't want to talk about that, but I want to talk about how do you make substitutions when it comes if you want a burger, if you want pizza, if you want pasta, right? Those are like what do you crave? What do you enjoy? What do you like eating? And finding substitutions for those. Like if you have something that you want to know tips about different substitutions, drop them in the comments and we'll be able to kind of give you our input on it. So I know, and I'm gonna pass it on to Coach Lacey because I know she's really good at cooking and being creative with her foods. I'm a simple, plain man, so take it away, Coach.
So anytime you want to make substitutions with things, just think of how to make a healthier version of it. So for instance, last night, Coach Chris, he made a deconstructed hamburger with French fries. Okay, we all want that hamburger and fries, but guess what? Red potatoes that you spray with olive oil, season up and put them in the air fryer are a lot healthier than going to the restaurant and getting any kind of potatoes.
They actually taste better too.
Yeah.
Like the French fries, they taste better, and like when you're done eating them, you don't feel that sluggish, heavy, defeated feeling because you go get French fries at McDonald's or Burger King, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna feel terrible.
Yeah,
and you feel less guilty.
Yeah.
And then you can take a hamburger patty or ground beef or ground turkey, whatever you prefer, and put all the vegetables you like on there.
The veggies.
You can make it with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles. Guess what? Put all that in a bowl. And you're not missing out. Like, you are still getting that hamburger and French fries taste. You can put your ketchup on there, your mustard on there, a little bit of light mayo, even if you want to do that. And that is a great substitution. Just here's the kicker is make sure that you are measuring out your portion sizes. So even though we're making a healthier substitution, we don't want to overeat because you can be eating healthy foods and still overeat healthy foods. Another thing, I love like Chinese food, Asian type food. So I make stir fries all the time. I'll take my jasmine rice, or I like shiitake noodles. They are acquired taste, but they're like 10 calories for a whole pack, okay, with like minimal things in them. And
Like
I'll put those in the skillet with some shredded chicken, some broccoli. You can put eggplant, whatever you want. And then G. Hughes has some great marinade sauces. Put that in the skillet. Put some sriracha on top, some liquid aminos. Yet again, just measure it all out, but that is going to be way healthier than going to the Chinese restaurant and ordering fried rice or lo mein.
Pretty much, guys, if you're wanting to make substitutions like that, you're going to have to track your food. That way, like she said, tracking your food and tracking what you're eating, that way you're staying within your macros, your calorie set that's set on your profile, for your whatever coach has you set at, that's what you want to stick with.
And
also, I will
go ahead.
I will say this. Think about it this. If you crave, like Coach Lacey said, they decided to create like a deconstructed hamburger, okay? Or they're making Chinese food. Like, what do you like? And then, guys, it's going to be healthier if you create it yourself. It's going to be. Because you're not like, we talk about this all, the added sauces, the added oils. We can talk about that, but still, you're going to create it yourself. And once you learn, plus not only are you going to be saving money, but you're going to be eating healthier at the same time.
Okay, and here's another thing. Let's say you're craving sweets and you love cheesecake, okay? Get plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. Portion you out 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar-free cheesecake pudding mix, okay? Mix that in your Greek yogurt. Now, sometimes it can be a little gritty, so you may want to pre-mix that with a little bit of water or almond milk. Mix that in your Greek yogurt. Get a couple of mini chocolate chips, sprinkle that on top, pop it in the freezer for 15, 20 minutes. You got you a dessert. You're not going overboard on things. It's sugar-free. You're getting protein. It's no to low fat. Boom.
Coach Lacey, I got a question. So these people, they're like, well, I don't know these ideas, or how do I get these ideas? Where are you getting these?
Reach out to your coach. Reach out to your coach. I have people, my clients reaching out to me all the time, and they're like, Coach Lacey, I am craving sweets. What can I do? And I'm going to give them a couple different options. Boom, boom, boom. Now, I'm not saying do this every night. Also, I'm not saying overindulge in it. We want to make sure we're staying within our macros limit. If you go over slightly within 50 calories or so, that's not going to hurt you for one day. But reach out to your coach. We all have ideas on things. And guess what? As you learn the ideas we're giving to you, you're going to start creating your own healthy recipes. You're going to start learning these things. And that's where the lifestyle change comes in.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing, like I had a client that asked me, well, how do you have a couple of recipes for, shakes? There's no other shake that I love than a peanut butter chocolate shake. So I told her, and I let her know this. And I told her, I was like, I'll give you how I make it, but you can't make it the same way that I make it, meaning the portion sizes.
Right.
Like you got to kind of figure that out on your own, because you don't, like, I can eat 2,000 calories or 2,500 to keep my, like, that's what I need, so you have to figure out your portion sizes for you. And that goes with anything that you create, any food that you create. You got to figure out if it fits,
like
you can't just eat it.
The peanut butter chocolate shake thing. Coach T's not saying put a spoonful of natural peanut butter in there, because that may be way too many fats for you, especially for females if you're eating your food.
Yeah.
But there is peanut butter substitutes like PB2 that you can put in your protein shake to give it that peanut butter flavor without adding all the extra
fats, calories, all the extra carbs, all that stuff. Guys, if you're wanting to, substitute a meal and make something healthy, my advice to you is make it your last meal of the day. That way, hey, all right, I've eaten this. You can figure out how much you have left at the end of the day. Like your last meal, like, hey, I got this much left. Then you can create your meal and be like, okay, I can have this much chicken. I can have this much beef. I can have this much peanut butter. I can have this many carbs. In that sense, how much you're going to have left. If you do it like at the beginning of the day, yes, you can do it, but it's going to make it more difficult for you to figure out what you need to eat the rest of the day, because everything's going to be thrown off.
Yeah, most of the time, the last meal, you are at home wanting something different. So you have a little bit more time to cook, possibly. You already have your breakfast prep. You've had your lunch prep, probably had your snack, and then your dinner. You may be like, I want something different tonight, but your macros, your fats, carbs, and proteins that you have left to create that dinner.
Yeah, and is important. Like the main key point of it, you gotta know what you're eating. You have to. Like you can't just create something out of thin air and like, oh, I'm not losing weight. Well, do you know what you ate for the rest of the day?
Right.
Like that, you got to start tracking your foods. Is that if that's the route that you go?
And even
But I
if
do
you're
want to
wanting
address
to eat
this.
some pasta sauce, guys, look at the back of the pasta sauce jars. Some of them are 70, 60, 70 calories for a half a cup.
Yep.
Great. Some of them are 120 calories for half a cup. Not good. Okay, so be
Yep.
aware of the type of sauces you are getting. Look at the back of your container. Make the healthier option in that sense.
Right. And even just going, I'm glad that you brought that up because, like, I'm thinking like pancakes or waffles.
Yeah.
Like, instead of just getting the regular, I don't know, I don't eat waffles or pancakes.
Like
Who makes them? Yeah. Instead of getting that, get Kodak protein.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the same type of, pancake or waffle, but just now you're just getting a little bit more protein. Instead of using regular milk, try almond milk, sweet or unsweet, don't care. But it just making those types of substitutions you'll see a drastic change in your progress. Like it's just making those switches. Even if you're not a client and you're listening to this, like
Yeah.
make those simple changes. And that's
And
what's key.
This is what we as coaches, when we say to you, we don't want you to feel like you're missing out on foods. We want to make this a lifestyle change for you. We want you to learn how to live this day to day. It's learning those types of substitutions. That you don't have to have the full fat versions of everything. That you're learning how to make switches to higher protein options versus heavy carb fat source options.
Yeah. All right. I think we hit the nail on the head when it comes to nutrition. I think a lot of people got a value from that. Even in like when we talk about it, I still get lots of value because there's like I'm not the greatest creator of food making. That's why Reels and TikToks are pretty cool, and also Google is a good way to find a lot of resources. Because I'm not an expert on recipe making. Like there's sometimes like, oh shit, oh Lacey, you make that? Oh okay, well let me try it. How'd you make it?
Y'all,
You get ideas from other people.
Prep, I was making chips out of chicken. I was flattening chicken so thin and seasoning it and putting it in the air fryer to make chips so that I could eat chips and salsa, but I was getting my protein in. So it's all about how creative can you get with this recipe, with your food.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, if you got any more like substitution nutrition questions, just post it in the comments, right? And we'll get to it. We'll look at it, and one of the coaches will be able to answer it for you.
Because that'll be beneficial for everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So let's transition, which this shouldn't be very difficult. But we love talking about working out. We love exercising at the gym. So when it comes to making substitutions on a specific workout, what are some key things? Like say, for instance, if somebody was, had, let's say, squats, what's a substitution for squats? I think people overthink it. I think a lot of people, well, the squat rack wasn't available. I can't do it. Or it's just, I don't have a squat rack, or it's just too packed. I can't do nothing. There's always something that you can do that's something similar to that movement. And for me, and I'll go first, and I think for me, when it comes to it, like look at the movement. If you're following a program and you don't have the equipment, or like I said, like give you all kinds of scenarios, look at that movement and see if you can maybe use dumbbells instead of a barbell. Maybe you can use a machine versus a barbell. Like as long as that movement is still the same, making a substitution like that, like you're still going to get results. It's because you're still putting in the work. Okay, we're not, and that's one thing that Coach Lacey mentioned earlier. Like we want you to create a lifestyle change. We're not trying to have you, okay, well, your shoulder, like you're going to build muscle, and we want you to put in the work. And it's better than not doing anything and skipping it. Right? Don't skip just because a certain exercise or equipment isn't available. Okay, make a substitution. Use your brain. Okay, or yet again, you have Google, what's a substitution for a bench press? And you'll have all kinds of crap that pops up, right?
Or reach out to your coach. Reach out to your coach even beforehand and be like, hey, what can I substitute for this? Or if we can't get back to you right away, that's, like Coach C said, look at the movement. For instance, squats. If you can't do the barbell squat, someone's on the squat rack, move the dumbbells. You can do squats with the dumbbells. You're still going to be working the same thing. If you can't do the dumbbells or the squat rack, find a machine. Most of the time gyms have machines that mimic the squat, and that's what you want to do. You can rotate it, or even if you can't get to it, skip that exercise, but come back to it later in the workout. It's okay to do your squats last. It may be harder. Yeah, you're going to put in some more work when you're doing it, but that's okay. All right, come back to it. Don't just delete that workout and not do it.
Yeah. And like for a lat pull down, if it's on the bar, right, where you're on the cable machine doing a lat pull down, and let's say that's taken, a lot of gyms will have standalone or freestanding machines that mimic that exercise. So it may not be the exact movement or the exact exercise on your plan using the cable machine, but the machine itself, the freestanding machine, is the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And this is what I'll do with people that ask me, well, what can I substitute? I don't answer it. This is what I do, because I want my clients to think. All right. I want you to, well, you tell me what you think you should do, and I'll correct it based off of that. Okay.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. I'll have clients that'll, message me and be like, hey, I couldn't do this today, so I did this instead. And if it's good, I'll be like, that was an excellent, it's a great substitution. Keep that in mind. That's exactly what you should have done. Or if it's wrong, but like, it's still a good substitution. You're still working your legs or your back, but next time let's do this exercise.
Guys, because you're not going to get it wrong.
That's a good point.
No.
That's the thing. You're not going to get it wrong. Every exercise is a great exercise. So anything you're substituting is going to work that body part. But just let your coach know what you did. And we could say, well, actually, that's working your quad versus your hamstring. And so in order to work your hamstring, use this. But that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Mm-hmm. I like that point. I like, even though that you can't find, or maybe you don't know what to do for that movement, pick something else that activates that movement, or activates that muscle. So I like that piece of it. That's a good point to make. Like, because you're not going to get wrong. You're still working out that area. Hey, you showed up, so that's a win in itself, and that's what we want to count. We want to count those small wins. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like that point. That's a good point. I don't see any other questions on here, but I do appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I appreciate your ears. Coaches, do y'all have anything else?
No.
That's all I got.
All right, guys. Well, I hope everyone has an awesome day. Please share this with someone today that might get some value. I would greatly appreciate that. We don't run any paid ads because we want this to grow organically. So hope everyone has the best day of their life. I'll catch everybody later.
Bye, guys.
See ya.